Welcome back. When it comes to roof damage, what can be your major problems? Can they start with something really small? Yeah, it's like roof debris. Here to tell us more about what property owners need to worry about when it comes to debris is Josh West from Malone Business Development. Good morning, Josh.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for joining us on the show because first of all, every time when I'm driving through homes, for some reason I always look at the roof. The roof has to look really nice, but apparently if you don't replace your roof, a lot of things can happen. So let's start there. Let's start with what are those biggest roof fails and what causes them to actually fail?
Yeah, so what we were talking about right before we came on here is the fact that every time we see that roof has gotten to the point of needing a re-roof, it's the fact that what could have been done to prevent this? And you mentioned roof debris being one of those #1 things. That's typically a great place to start of reasons why roofs fail. It could be just any types of leaves, trash, it could be pine straw, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. But you can just kind of imagine in your mind the things that can collect on a roof, which then over time can impede the flow of water, which can then have ponding of water, which can then, coupled with the UV rays, can then deteriorate that roof, shorten the lifespan.
Wow.
So can greatly reduce. You might have a 30-year roof system that can be greatly reduced because of roof debris, and it's one of those things where it's not safe for necessarily you to get up there and check it, so you need to have somebody to get up there and check it for you.
Wow. Now, how often should we be replacing a roof? It's like, what, every 10 years or something like that?
I hope not. We hope it's not 10 years, right? However, these are typically, you know, your 30-year type roof systems.
Okay.
But, however, if you do not address some of these issues, then it can shorten it into that 10, 15-year lifespan. Unfortunately, a lot of people can fall into that category.
And it's important to obviously replace your roof because, again, that's the top of your house. If that fails, then there goes the whole house at some times, you know, which is important. Now, if you saw those pictures, I found it really interesting. Trash, trees, how does all of that stuff get up there? We know about water and stuff, obviously through rain, but how do those trees get up there like this right here?
I mean, you look at the vegetation there that's on that roof. That's another one of the causes. So we mentioned about there's silt buildup over time, coupled with pollen, coupled with seedlings. Where does that vegetation roof system go? It goes into the decking of the roof.
Unbelievable.
That then allows water and other things to get into that, and then what does that lead to? That's going to lead to a complete roof collapse, potentially a complete roof failure. You're going to have water leaks everywhere, and that water is going to get in. It could run 50 or 60 feet and then go in and actually penetrate the building in a lot of different places. But just one of the many ways, vegetation, that the roof can fail.
That is unbelievable. Now, does just regular weather, say we don't have a lot of snow, a lot of rain, can just normal weather help deteriorate these roofs as well?
Yeah, sure. So when people think of maybe let's just take an asphalt shingle. Let's just take for your roof, and it's got granulars on it. Well, those granulars over time are going to dislodge. And so people think that the shingles are there, the coloring of the shingles are there just for those granulars for the color of the shingle. No, that's actually to protect it from UV. So an asphalt shingle cannot have that exposure to sunlight. So over time, things like the sun, the temperature change, just the changing in temperature, the changing in the dew points and humidity, foot traffic on a roof is something that can also dislodge those granulars, and then of course that can allow that to more quickly deteriorate. So yes, there are other factors just with the weather, just with foot traffic. So if you don't have to be on your roof, you don't want to be up on those shingles, because every time you're stepping, it just makes sense. The pressure of the footwear on the roof is going to knock those granulars loose.
And stuff like that right there. If you see that, it's a problem.
Well, so loose seams, okay, you mentioned loose seams as we look at right here. Loose seams are one of those products or one of those particular fails that is going to be very hard to see with the untrained eye. And they typically start small, but then they're going to get over time, and then it's going to continue to pull apart. You're going to continue to see that delamination is what we call it, or separating. And then that's also going to lead to major issues.
And then fire hazards as well is a big thing.
Well, we looked at some of that roof debris. One of the main things of fire hazard is going to be your pine straw against a heat stack. There you see where, let's just say maybe a gas heater exhaust on a roof, and then pine straw gets around that. It can reach that combustible temperature, and then not only would you have roof failure, you would have entire building failure as well.
Unbelievable. Now, for me, if I'm a homeowner watching right now, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many things that can happen to my roof. Are there ways we can prevent this from happening?
Well, there are ways, and that is with preventative maintenance. And preventative maintenance plans are something that people might do on a monthly basis. They might do on a quarterly basis, annual, maybe biannual, twice a year. And it's just to get somebody up there safely. Let's just take big commercial roofs, people that own property and that own commercial property, and to have a company like a Malone, a reputable contractor that gets up there with the proper safety and is able to run through all these checklists and be able to make sure all the boxes are checked, so to speak, to make sure that all those little problems don't become bigger problems down the road.
Thank goodness you came on the show today, Josh Wesh. I really appreciate you for coming this morning. I have so many questions I'm going to ask you during the commercial break. Do not forget, Malone Roofing Services has 9 locations in 5 states, including New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Alexandria, Louisiana, plus Jackson and Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Malone Services, nearly all of Louisiana. To learn more about Malone, you can call them at 1-833-7-MALONE or log on to ecmalone.com.